Hey guys, welcome back to Etheria Restart. In today's video, I want to have a chat about Tiamat. Now, this is in her current state. I have been, along with many others, I'm sure, expecting them to release some patch notes, pre-release patch notes. We still have not seen anything. In the last video that they put on their YouTube channel, they did show Tiamat having a 117 base speed when she was on screen. So not too sure if she is getting a rework. If she is, then I will redo this video and give you guys an update my thoughts on her for you guys. But I want to talk about her in the current state because I've played through her through the last beta, the beta before that, and I've been testing her out in this current test build that I've been running. And the big difference between the previous test build and this test build is that I don't have Lily. So I want to go through my thoughts around Tiamat and her two main issues that she has, because she has two big issues. Now, do I think she's useless and you shouldn't take her from your selector? I do not think she's useless. I do think there are other great options for your selector. And I do think saving for your 2-week random SSR before you use your selector is a great option. But I also do think Tiamat is still an incredibly solid option and still the one that I will probably go for. Now, the reason I will probably go for her is because I do plan on re-rolling for Lily. And if you want to know I've been trying to iron out my plan for launch because I've been thinking about this a lot. My plan is probably going to be to re-roll for Lily, do about 150 to 200 summons. As long as I've got some of the decent SRs that I feel like I need, then if I pull Tiamat during that time, then I'm going to save my select summon banner until I get my random SSR ticket at the end of the 2-week mission. If I don't get Tiamat by that 150 to 200 summon mark, then I'm just going to select Tiamat and run with it because I will have the Lily re-rolled for. So that is going to be my personal plan, at least how I see it at the moment. You know, some things may change that, but that is my current thinking of the way I'm going to go about it. Now, I quickly want to touch on the two main issues that I do see with Tiamat. Once again, not to tell you she's crap, but just because, you know, I'm biased. I think everyone knows that I'm biased towards Tiamat and Lily. I love the combo. And I just know that it works because when we went into the last beta, not a lot of people got into farming the Inferno modes. And Lily Tiamat was a combo I know works and can get me to Inferno. And so that's why I still lean towards it, because it's the only progression that I've tested that I know works. Once again, if they do updates and change things, well, now I'm going to be in the dark again and we're just going to have to do guessing games and try and, you know, make our best call to try and get there. But the big issue that I have with Tiamat, the first one is that she does really love Lily. Now, it's a positive and a negative. If you have Lily, it means Tiamat's an absolute monster. If you don't have Lily, it means Tiamat will struggle a little bit if you're trying to make her your only DPS in the team, because it is Lily that enables her, really, in my opinion, to be a main DPS. Now, pre-Inferno modes, she'll probably still be fine. But once you get into that Inferno mode, especially in the first Inferno where she really does take effect, which is Doki, she is going to struggle here, especially when you get to Inferno. Mine is kind of struggling. This is about an 80% success rate on Hell 4, which is the one before Inferno, and she's not going to have any chance of getting through it in Inferno. So obviously this is a very, very, very budget team that I am using here, but she just sometimes with this run, I clear all the ads in the second wave and I have my whole team there and it's only the boss. But because the boss has lifesteal on his basic, if I don't land a wound, the boss will eventually get so buffed that he just one-shots all of my units and I can't do anything about it. So it's that damage output that Tiamat is lacking. As I mentioned, Lily is the big thing that allows you to do Tiamat as a sort of main DPS type character. Besides that, she's going to be a sub DPS / support. And the big reason is because Tiamat's basic attack has so much damage. Even her basic attack in her standard form is really good single target damage, but then in her demon form, it's obviously the big AoE that really helps. And with the Lily, you know, you're going to be putting Twin Trick on the Tiamat. Just note, if you plan on running Lily, Tiamat, and another DPS, Lily is most likely going to be buffing the other DPS because Lily will buff the ally with the highest attack. Just keep that in mind if you are looking into some shenanigans and stuff like that. But it's the assist that Lily provides, which is fantastic. And if I do get a Lily, her skill 1 will be the first skill that I max skill out of any SSR. That is 100% my plan. It brings her assist chance to 100% and also gives her the speed boost through prowess, which is absolutely fantastic. And keep in mind, every time she uses this after, if you do end up maxing this one out, it will end up being 100% uptime of crit damage for Tiamat, which is actually really, really nice to get that extra damage out because it becomes a 3-turn cooldown with a 3-turn buff. And if you do have a bit of crit on your Tiamat, she can start dealing out a truckload of damage. If you take a look over here, because I'm running Grey on my team, I decided to put one crit rate slot on my Tiamat just because I had a good piece for it. So if you look over here, normally I do run early game triple HP, but I was experimenting with a crit rate one here, which gets her up to the 57. Then we have the Grey buff as well. So she is reliably critting here. So if you had Lily in there as well, and then she's get the extra crit damage buff, that's going to further amplify her damage. Whereas if you don't have her on decent crit rate, then she's not really making too much use out of that crit damage buff from a Lily. Just something to think about as well when you look to builds, and I will definitely experiment more with builds as we go further on. But once again, that is the first issue that she has, is that I don't think she has enough damage on her own to be like the main DPS of your team unless she is paired with that Lily. Once again, that is for Inferno. This team still does work in Hell 4, but, you know, it is already starting to show cracks of not having enough damage. Obviously, my other units aren't 6-star. I could 6-star a bunch of units and creep my way up there. But ideally, you could be able to do this without 6-starring everyone on the team. Now, the next issue that I want to mention is that Tiamat can actually be a fantastic support character. Like, I mean, amazing support. Her shield is so big, heal over time, fantastic. She's the kind of character where it's like, you could view her as a support character with 2 support abilities, a shield with a heal, and a taunt ability. And then while those are on cooldown, she goes into her demon form and she deals some really nice damage to support you until those abilities come off cooldown. That's kind of the way I view her working. The only problem is that her AI is programmed to make her use her skill 3 first. And that is very, very bad for her, especially when we look to things like any of these gear farming areas, because her taunt, her AoE taunt, is going to sacrifice her HP, and it's not going to help her allies too much. Yes, she may taunt enemies, which takes some of the heat off them, but especially when we look to this Doki Doki fight, which I am on Hell 4 at the moment, when you get into Inferno, every attack that your enemies do is going to destroy your max HP. And this is the problem when she uses her taunt first. You can see we did proc a bramble when the enemies attacked us, got us to our 8 stacks, and we still have not been able to put our shield out, which is the main support that she does bring. So Tiamat, if you are looking to use her in more of a supportive role or as like your main DPS, but you want to make her use her shield first, you will have to manual play her. And for that, what I normally do is I'll restart and show you. To play her like that, what you'll have to do is put the game on manual at the start. So let's just start. Let's see if she's going to be my first in the turn order or if she gets pushed back. She does not get pushed back. We're going to put it on manual. And so you can see the big difference here. Once again, when you get into Inferno mode, like this is still a progressing account. When you get into Inferno, you have to be faster than these enemies. If you're not, yeah, you got to gear up a bit more. And when you're faster, you're at full HP and you put a shield on. Keeping in mind, in Inferno, these guys, every hit that they did, they would have been destroying my max HP, which makes it just harder and harder and harder to get through this stage. But if you could put a shield like this up, and that's not even the max potential of her shield because she's lost HP already, and her shield is based on her current HP that she can sacrifice, that is a big shield that's going to protect all of your allies from getting their HP destroyed in this first round of the first wave. And the idea behind this is that now you can put it back on auto, and then once she comes out of her demon form, that's when you got to put it back on manual and use her shield again. Now, ideally, they make it, and let me know if you guys disagree with me, but I really think the default for Tiamat should be to use her skill 2 as a priority. She's a tank. It is a tanking ability. I get taunt is a tanking thing too, but really she wants to be protecting her allies, and the shield with a heal is the best way to do that as a priority. Then she can go ahead and taunt after that. But I think just protecting her allies from a bunch of things with her shield is a lot better. Even in PvP, I would have often rather have her use her shield first, but you know, it is what it is. Ideally, they give us a way to select skill priority, but just note, if they don't adjust it and we don't get skill priorities, Tiamat, if you want to use her as a supportive character, which, you know, she can be a good support in Aurora as well, but if you want that, you are going to have to semi-manual until you severely outgear, especially Inferno mode, to be able to go ahead and auto that. So that's just something to consider. I did manage to auto Inferno with her just on full auto, but it was very unreliable compared to when I put it on manual when she was coming in to use her skill, which then I would prioritize the skill too. So those are her two big issues. One, not feeling like she doesn't have enough damage on her own without Lily on the team. And two, that she doesn't use her shield as a priority, which really does suck in my opinion. So those are the two issues. Do I think that makes her absolutely horrible and useless? No, she is still a fantastic unit, but because I'm very biased towards her, and everyone knows that I do really enjoy Tiamat, especially with Lily, I just wanted to let you guys know. So there she goes again, taunts. And you can see she may not get around. She's just got the heal there. So now she's not going to get around to using her. There you go, transform. So she's used her taunt. She didn't get to use her shield and heal, which puts my whole team at risk. And she's gone ahead and just left everyone vulnerable. So once again, that's just showing you how annoying that is. But once again, I still think she's a fantastic unit. There are definitely other options that you can take from your selector, and I'll do a whole selector video, but I just wanted to highlight some of the issues that I think Tiamat has, just in case people are thinking, you know, she's the be-all end-all. She's not. She is flawed. She still has her issues, but I still think she is a fantastic unit. And like I said, I still do think I will go ahead and pick her up because I am re-rolling for that Lily, and I know it's a great combo that can just really work. So that is what I am looking at doing. Let me know what you guys are thinking so far. Once again, if they do release patch notes, I will let you guys know any updates on my thoughts on any of the characters that do get adjusted in patch notes. But maybe we'll just let this one play out to finish the video to show you that sometimes we just can't get through it because our whole team is alive and this guy can start stacking those buffs. Now, if we land a wound with number 41, we're kind of cool, but if we don't, we're going to be in a little bit of a pickle. So let's take a look here and let's see if he starts one-tapping people. So Tiamat's still doing okay. So we still got a little bit. Now we have lost the attack break on the enemy. So we really need to get that attack break back on him. Otherwise we might be in a little bit of a struggle. So let's go boom. And as you can see, this is where the damage just starts really slowing down. So this is what I wanted to highlight. Whereas if we had Lily, we would be getting those extra hits. But as you can tell, that guy with his basic attack having the life steal on it, it is just pure pain. So let's see if we can get the damage on this one. Boom. Still not quite enough. We did get a little boost, but it's not going to be enough. Do we get the Death Shred? We got the Death Shred. Okay, we did not land the sleep, but it didn't matter because we're going to do that. And hopefully he has his skill back. Okay, there we go. He has his skill back. You can see he almost tapped the Tiamat, but there we go. We're going to go ahead and get to finish it off here because luckily he used that skill and not the basic, which was going to sap a bunch from us. But as you can see, she is still capable of doing those things in Hell 4. But once again, I think in Inferno, that is when you're really going to see that damage start to not be enough, especially considering I was on a crit build. But once again, if you pair her with Lily, then her damage just gets amplified way more, and she's able to use way more attacks without, you know, hurting anything in her turn order. She just gets to go ahead and go Lily attack. I'm going to attack too. I'm just putting more damage in. It doesn't reduce the time of her demon form, so she can still deal heaps of AoE damage without having to transform back earlier than she otherwise would. But anyway, guys, that is my thoughts on Tiamat at the moment. Let me know what you guys think. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.